to record all of this in full screen, and then since I am going to reduce the file size, we should be fine, I think, on the quality. But I'm just gonna power through this. Hopefully I won't get distracted. Right, so before we were talking about this light and this brake light and how it should not be shining where it's shining right here, all of this, right? And so basically they put it, I'm not sure if there's something actually here, we'll just determine that later, but I think my hypothesis is, my theory is that whoever did this, manipulated this, made this shine so exorbitantly in order to then proceed to cast that red light in this area too, and think we weren't going to notice. But thankfully we are more astute than that, right? And we notice that, this makes any sense. The light should be over here, not here, and it should not be in this area. But again, that was meant to purposely misrepresent what is going on in order to obfuscate what is happening and to mislead us into thinking that there's nothing going on here. Right, and so then I found the other footage that I was working with yesterday, Jeff H's footage, and I think here maybe I did not do any corrections. Interesting, because I feel like this looks kind of different, but perhaps, anyways, it doesn't matter. So I think this is a really interesting part, because I was looking for it, because in that video I made the claim that this poor little shadow right there is Murphy. I'm sure it's Murphy. I don't care what anyone says, you can disagree all you want. I'm certain it's Murphy. Because look at it, it's moving. Do you see that? I mean, if you don't think if you think that tech actual like shade or whatever, if that's light being cast from this light, from this lamp up here that's being cast in here, sure, go ahead and believe that. But if you go look at the video yourself and you have a look at that, like, the light doesn't change at all. It's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous that they left this in here, believing that nobody would notice. And I guess nobody has noticed until now, but it's absolutely ridiculous. When I noticed this yesterday, I nearly broke my computer and was screaming at the top of my lungs, because that was the point of what I was doing yesterday. Wasn't even to find Murphy. I wasn't even looking for Murphy, but somehow, and this is really curious how this is all working out, somehow I always come across things that I'm not looking for. And Murphy is one of the I don't want to say thing, but one of the elements that comes up suddenly and unexpectedly when I wasn't even looking for him, right? And I feel like it's this kind of energy, his indiscreet, non-discreet, his what am I trying to say? His very passive energy, right? I feel like he's been reduced to this passive kind of being that doesn't really. Xana's the same kind of way. Kaylee is always find me, and I always find Kaylee, and it's she's you need to find me, right? I feel this energy, you need to find me. And Xana and Murphy are more low key. They're well, they don't really ask for, and I know that sounds crazy. Sorry if it does, just ignore me. But anyways, I was trying to highlight those people in the bushes, and then I found Murphy. And I was just flabbergasted, to be honest. I could not believe my eyes. I still can't believe my eyes. Look at him. I feel so bad. It's honestly one of the worst things I've ever. Other than the obvious unalivings, but to put an innocent creature to what they put Murphy through, and it was obviously intentional, because they could have put him anywhere else. They could have done anything else with him. They could have unalived him too, But I'm of the belief, and I have no reason to believe this other than what I've seen and what I feel, is that somebody had something against Murphy and they wanted him to suffer for the rest of his life. Because otherwise, why would you do that? It just, again, things that don't make sense in some sick, twisted way. And why would you include some innocent creature in all of this? It's because you want him to have a memory of it for the rest of his life. And that's so cruel that it just propels me more to do this. So here we see, like, they think we're really dumb and we're gonna notice that this apparent light being cast through the window isn't moving, and it is, and it has the shape of a dog. I mean, I know there's gonna be a bunch of trolls out here who are probably part of some robot form hired by some cult members to harass people to prevent them from promulgating and disseminating the truth of their BS. But I mean, come on, look at that. Look at that poor innocent creature. And they made him watch everything else, and now they put him in the car with poor Xana, right? Who's like trying to bite her way out of her bindings. At first, when I first noticed Xana, I thought it was a person who had been cut in some kind of battle and some kind of confrontation. And I was like, oh, there's this guy in the car and he cut his hand and he's in there because he's hurt. But then I noticed, I discovered it was Xana, and she's like trying to somehow somehow get her bindings off her hands, which is why they injured her hands, and they create this false narrative that they were defensive wounds when they were not. She was fighting the entire time to break her way out of those bindings they put around her hands, and in order to disguise you know how when just imagine you tie someone up and they're trying to break out of it, like you're gonna have all these, abrasions and scratches and kind of like skid marks or burn marks from trying to break out of whatever binding they used on you. And in order to hide that, they cut up her hands and made it seem like it was defensive wounds. And we can't trust anything that the coroner's report or the autopsy report says, because obviously, like, none of this is true, right? Like, this is supposed to be just like some random stop, but it's not. And so, like, why would you take anything else after this as truth? It just doesn't make sense. But another reason why I believe firmly that it's Murphy is because in these dual cams, I'm sorry, Murphy, man, so sorry, bud. In these dual cams, we see clearly. So there's this the other side of the car, right? We see him here. We see him here, and then we have the opposite side with Jacob Tesdall. Do you notice that there's this apparent light casting through the window is not there anymore? I mean, they'll have you believe that it is, but it's not, because there's a dog there. And see that light? This apparent light should be somewhere here, but it's not. And instead, we're left with, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit better here. Unfortunately, the other better quality videos don't have this dual cam setup. But I did notice at some points of movement there. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Hold on. So let's undo that, and this is what I'm doing, right? So I'll just let you know some of my secrets, my trade secrets. So I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna paste it here, and then we can. So this is the first one, right? So we can stop right. We'll just cut it here. Delete, and then we'll copy it again, put it here, and then we will crop this guy, and we will crop this guy. I honestly don't even know how, like, I'd never done anything with iMovie before. I did the one thing before, but all of a sudden I'm like figuring out all these things that, like, somehow I'm just learning on the spot, on the go, and it's really interesting. We'll just split screen. There we go. See, it's not crazy. I'm getting better at this. It's kind of insane. All right, so here we got the split view. At the same time, right? It's the same video. It's just cut in half, basically, so we can have both cameras. And we see Murphy in that in Rosie's camera, but we don't see him in this other camera. And then notice how it's like really blurry. This is another thing that is really inconsistent. So there's all of us, like you have, you know, here you can almost make out like the text on this, right? I mean, you can't make it out, but it's like it's there, right? You can tell that it's text, and it's right here, and it's small. Presumably it's small, right? But then we get to something like this, and all of a sudden it's like blurry, right? And it's blurry on this side, but it's not necessarily blurry on this. I mean, it is blurry on this side because I don't want us to see Xana right here. Let's do a little more correction. Let's do it on here. This is what I'll do. Oh, I'm picking the wrong one. Oops. My bad. Notice how Murphy doesn't change color, because they made it so it would just appear like some light, and they couldn't really mess with it too much because it would be difficult to recreate. As it is impossible to recreate both at the same time, right? And so over here they just kind of blurred them out completely, and then in this other one they made it seem like it was just like the light being cast. I'm not sure what they wanted us to believe, to be honest. Obviously I'll never know. Thankfully I don't have that sick kind of mind. But in any case, yeah, this is Rosie's camera over here. You can't see. Sorry, Rosie's camera is the left side. Yeah, you can over here. It's Tez doll. Let's see. Yeah, we'll make this darker. Are we able to see Xana's there? So you can kind of see. And I won't go in ways like, oh yeah, you can see it. I mean, I'm not going to tell you I can see something if I don't see something, right? That's another thing about my whole approach is, you know, it may be something there, and if I can't really tell that it's something, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's something. And more than often than not, I'll be mistaken and like perhaps what exactly it is. Like I might say, like Murphy for a long time I thought was a pair of legs. And so I was like, I know there's something there that's not supposed to be there, but then I couldn't tell what it was, and then eventually I figured out it was Murphy. But then here, right, you can, there's, and then you have on this side, right, it's, you can tell there's a head there. But again, it's there's no reason, or it doesn't make sense for like all of a sudden this camera that like can capture these cars over here, right, and the cracks on the whatever that is. Might be something weird and strange, because look at that. It's like, do you notice that? That's also like I'm saying, there's so many things in every single scene. Like, what is this? Like, why is all of a sudden like it's not? It's some kind of pothole, but then you get closer and then it's like more pronounced, like it's popping out of the ground. Do you see that? Like these optical illusions, right? Like that doesn't make any freaking sense. Look at that. All of a sudden, oh my gosh, it's just, I mean, like I'm saying, it's crazy. It's freaking blood. That's what it is. Look at, there's a trail of it. OMG. All of that. I'd never noticed that before. Do you see that? That's where they dragged a body. Probably Kaylee's body, because Kaylee was over there. So they dragged. What is that? Like, what is that? If anybody can educate me, for me, as to what they think that is, and how it makes any sense. Look at that. This trail of blood. Because all of this, Kaylee was over here at some point. That's something like that. She was over here at some point. Right here. And the whole reason this ban fuel stop went on and lasted the however long it lasted, I mean, think about it. Like, it took them whatever X amount of time to give those citations, and when they were being made, he was just like there, like looking at them, like making them, like he's never made it. Like, you know, cops should be able to make a citation for whatever reason in like 5 minutes, like less than 5 minutes for all three of those kids. But for some reason, it just took all this time, and it wasn't an accident. It was so that whatever was happening over here, right between the cars, up on the ledge where all the bodies were and they were moving people. So whatever was happening over there in the shenanigans, so they could move people over back towards wherever they took them after this. I'm not gonna allege I know where they took them because I don't, but they just weren't. They're not there anymore, right? And so they went somewhere. And again, this whatever that is that I just noticed, what is that supposed to be? Some kind of hump, some road hump? Because I didn't notice it in other footage. Right, let's go back. I think I have some other footage of that. Right, it's this Fox News one. Yeah, here we go. This Fox News one is like not entire footage. It's just kind of like synopsis of everything. And yeah, see, there is no speed ledge thing, bike lane separator, right? But then, Lord behold, the magic of Moscow. It just appears. This thing appears. And they honestly think we're so stupid and dumb and blind we're not going to see these things. And I mean, a lot of people don't. You're not dumb and stupid, but some of you are. So those of you that choose not to, like, oh, I just can't, refuse to see things, then I have no sympathy for you. You deserve to be ignorant, okay? But then, those of us that do pick up on these things and open our eyes and see and are outraged, we can't be fooled, right? We can't be fooled because we have independent, critical thinking minds. And so then, this, like, oh, I just can't believe this. The audacity of these people to, like, invent these things. Like, they think we're, like, living in a movie and we're just going to put up with everything, that whatever they feed us, shove in our faces, shove in our eye holes. Look at that. And then, like, it just, all of a sudden, it's like there's an earthquake or something. You see that? It's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Disappearing, like, the ground is cracking. There's an earthquake happening underneath his feet. Jesus Christ. Look at that. And that's not light compression, or it's not pixel compression. It's none of that. Come on. Like, seriously. Be a fucking human being person with a brain. You know? Anyways, that was not part of what I wanted to say. And another thing I'll mention right now before cutting this off is that these blurs, whoever released this video, Fox News, whoever either I don't think Fox News did this on purpose. I don't think they did this because that would be kind of just super crazy, and I wouldn't doubt it. But you know, I just don't think. I think they received it with these blurs, and they were like, "Oh, it's for privacy reasons." Like the unalivers, the murderers were like, "Oh, we respect privacy." Like, give me a frickin' break. You know, it's just like the most ridiculous things in the world. These blurs are there for a reason, to hide things, right? Because over here, because this footage is higher quality than this other footage, right? And so in order to make it so that we wouldn't see things clearly, they put these frickin' blurs there. Because here, there's all this stuff going on back here, right? So I'm trying to get it to just stick in that spot, but I just can't. So there's all this stuff going on back there, right here. I can't get it, I'm sorry. But right on that ledge between the cars, there's so much going on over there. And I don't know what I did right now. Oh, there we go. And they don't want us to see it, so they put these blurs there so so that when Saeed walks in front of the camera, all that area is blurred. Because do you see that? Oh man, I just can't get it to that part. Jesus, what did I do? There we go. I wish I could. Let me see if I can just... I'll let it freeze frame here. Hopefully it'll stay. Yes, okay. Right there. There's so much going on right here. And they don't want us to see. And so they add this blur. It's privacy blur. Privacy BS blur. Because there's all this stuff going on here. That's Ethan. And this is Murphy right there. You can't see him at all. I know you've been thinking I'm freaking crazy. But so at this point, at the beginning, Murphy's here, Kaylee's right here. He's on top of Kaylee, licking her face. That's some girl holding Ethan down. And I don't know if they have Mogan up here somewhere. Like they're like tossing her around or something. And then there's Xana's up here, hogtied and tied. And so then in between that, and so this is at 256. In between 256 and whenever the call ends, which is what time? 3:15. They move all these people. They move them all. They move them all over here. They're dragging someone over here, and Maddie's over here. Madeline Mogan is getting over here assaulted. And they've moved, at some point when they're giving out the tickets, they're moving Xana past those people and they're putting her in the car, and Ethan's somewhere over here. And when everybody leaves and he's getting back in his car, Rosie's getting back in his car, either him or someone else pulls up Ethan. What is that? There's another thing right here. No, okay. Is there? Somebody pulls up Ethan up to the window so Xana can see him. There we go. Do you see that? I believe that's Ethan's face right here. And somebody is grabbing him and putting like their gloves over his mouth. Do you see that? Do you see that? You can see his mouth. I mean, I can from this angle, and maybe like our resolutions are different, but somebody is opening his mouth. Jesus Christ, I just noticed that. This is also bananas, man. Anytime I find stuff like this, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, my God, have mercy on these poor souls. Oh my Lord, it is insane. It honestly is so insane. Like, what could they have? I ask myself constantly, like, what could they have done? That it's just that was so terrible, so transgressive that they deserve this. Like, to be humiliated in front of each other and then to be like tortured in front of each other. Do you see that? To be paraded in front of each other, like, oh, here you go, look at her, like, look at him, he's gonna die and you're gonna die and you're all gonna die. Kaylee's already dead. Thankfully, she like went, I mean, not thankfully she's dead, but she's not having to bear witness to all these terrible things. But these two, it was almost like they hated them because they were so into each other or whatever. I just can't figure out a reason why they would do any of this. Look at that. Again, I had no idea I was gonna get this close. That's when I walked in. Look, I mean, I'm not sure how to even make this more. Oh, let's see. Okay, see? I mean, I pray to God that you can see this. Mouth right here. It's a nose. His beat up face. Look at him. He looks so sad. If he's even awake anymore. And his nose. And there's the mouth, like the border of the mouth. So there's gonna be people up here who's like, I can't see anything. Okay, then peace out, man. If you can't see this, then I don't know why are you watching this. Just for like to see horrible images, or to not to choose not to see. I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand. I'm sorry if this offends people, but like I just don't get it. These are not for your viewing pleasure. Okay, they're not for people to get off on like seeing horrible things. I'm not getting off on this. This is extremely disturbing to me. Extremely disturbing to me. And I can't explain myself why I'm having to do this. Like why I'm compelled. Other than like calls from the other side, right? Pleas from the other side to expose this material to people, so that people know, so that even if the two culprits never see jail time, at least the truth of what happened to them will be out there. And I don't know that they will, because apparently all of them are really well connected, and you know, daddies have monies and corporations and companies, and they own Moscow basically. It's very disturbing. I'm so glad I'm not there or anywhere near there. God forbid. I honestly don't even know why anyone would want to live in that state, unless they are directly participating in some of these things, right? That's the only reason I can have. Look at that, Jesus. Jeez Louise, man. Anyways, I'm gonna stop this here. Thanks.